So I'm having serious issues with loss of power with the John Deere 4044M. I start it up and it runs for a moment, but as soon as I put a load on it, it just dies. And it's 100% almost certain a fuel issue. Let's get into it.
So put it in full throttle. Alright, see, then it dies. See that?
So that's what we're going to try to fix here, and it's actually pretty simple. You just need a couple of tools and a lot of patience. So before we jump into the fix, I'm going to tell you what I'm pretty sure is wrong, and it's going to be a fuel issue with a lot of gunk and water in the tank. And I actually, unfortunately, blame these guys right here. Something I hadn't really considered, but these caps, they are not watertight. So you got these little guys right here that just let a ton of water in. And I foolishly left these out in the rain and then didn't realize what I was doing and then dumped it in and filled up the tank with sludge and bad fuel. Lesson learned, I'm hoping maybe some Teflon tape will actually seal this off and it'll end up being all right. But for now, definitely gotta keep them out of the weather. And these aren't, like, you'll even notice if you dump this over on its side, it'll just leak all over the place. So beware of that. So let's take a look inside the tank. I don't know that we're going to be able to see anything in here, but it's murky, it's gross, it's bad. So what we need to do is drain the tank, and then I'm going to show you how to clean the filter, the screen that's down there. I'm probably going to end up needing to replace the fuel filter, both fuel filters. I'm going to back up a little bit so that we can see this. On this John Deere 4044, and I think it's going to be on all the 4000s, you're going to get to the screen and the fuel line. It's on the driver's side right here. It's super inconvenient. The wiring harness is in the way, and everything's in the way, honestly. So you've got the hose going down, and it's clamped on to this brass fitting here, which on the end of it, it's got an L shape here, and then it goes back in here with a screen that's about that long. That's the pickup. So we're going to loosen this bolt here, and then we're going to take off the hose, and that's the hardest part of this whole thing, is taking off that stinking hose. And then we're going to thread this back out, and then it's going to just drain out all the fuel. Once the fuel drains out, we'll wash the tank and go from there. I'm fortunate enough in this situation to have the wheel spacers that allows me a little bit more access to get inside here. If you don't have that, you're really going to struggle. Also, having the brush hog and all of that assembly here is not helping the situation, but I'm going to get up underneath here and let's see if we can actually see what we're going to be working with. Yeah, it's right there. So that's what we got to take off. It's this fuel line right here. Oh, I got to try to get in here. Like I said, I really wish I had this off, but it's such a pain to put back on that once it's on for the season, it's on. All right. First thing, you're going to need a couple of picks to get this hose free. I'll bring you closer. All right, there it is, right there. Get your pliers up in there, grab a hold of this guy, wiggle it down. It's easier said than done. Got this shadow of a daddy long leg approaching somewhere. Oh man, such a pain. Whatever engineer thought that this was the spot to put this. Oh. All right, so that might be far enough down. Next thing is to use a pick, and we can probably do this from the other side. But you gotta get that thing loose. I've actually done this once before, and you can sit here and yank on this hose to the end of time and it will not come off, at least not in my situation. So now we're gonna try to get it from this side. Of course, everything is in the way. Oh, looks like I'm just ripping the hose apart. You gotta get up underneath it. Really can't even see what I'm doing here. Okay, after about 10 minutes of wanting to completely burn this thing to the ground, I finally got it off, and you can't do it from the top, you can't do it from the bottom, because you need someone from the top and from the bottom. You need somebody actually breaking the seal of the hose and somebody pulling on the hose. This tool right here, that's what did it. So as you can see, maybe, it's actually got a hook that goes down, so you can be underneath here. I got it up underneath and I was pulling down, and then I could work my way around the seal and pull it down. Lifesaver. By the way, I picked this up at O'Reilly's in a 4-pack, just a hose removal set. Not sponsored or anything. But with that being the case and being done there, now what I'm gonna do is position my bucket to miss most of what I pull. I'm sure it's gonna just drip everywhere else. And I'm gonna go ahead and pull it down all the way. And it's just barely dripping. You see that drip? Drip. That sucker is clogged up. All right, so you can now see that we've got this piece in here, and it's got that hose clamp, the ratcheting kind right there. So we're gonna take that guy out, and the easiest thing, try not to mess with the Phillips head or flathead. Right here, there we go. Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. This is a 5/16. I don't know if you can see it on there. That's 5/16. Then the next thing to do, which I'm not sure I can film and show you this at the same time, but this guy here is going to twist out counterclockwise. Back in this squish spot. You can see it's starting to leak now. Of course, I'm missing my bucket in most places, but I'm gonna go ahead and pull that all the way out. Oh gosh. Oh man. Well, that was a disaster. I'm glad I wasn't underneath it. That is the problem. Look how nasty that thing is. Yeah, it's frustrating. I really hate getting this much on the ground. All of the fuel definitely got into that bucket. We're just gonna roll with that. If the EPA is watching, all of the fuel made it into the bucket, which will be properly disposed of. Now, while the rest of the fuel is dripping out, this is the cause of the problem. Basically, it was starving for fuel. Super nasty. And I'm gonna show you how to clean it. We're just gonna simply use some carburetor choke cleaner. Got the B12 here, you can use whatever you want. Watch this. Speaking of melting, I think it's melting my gloves. Make sure you're wearing proper PPE. Good as new, but if you need a new one, just go down to your local Deere dealership. Oh man, that's nasty. Look at all that. So, although it's drained out of that plug as much as it will, we need to get the rest of that out. Oh, it's gross. So I've got a little extractor. I don't know, it's for oil, and then I actually, trying to stick something like this down there is impossible. It just curls up. So what I've done is I've actually taken this rod here that came with a chandelier that we had, or a pendant light or something. I threaded it together, taped up the joints, threaded it onto the hose, and it works great for sticking down and stuff like this. We'll make sure this drains down into our bucket. That is nasty, sludgy junk. Let's take a look inside now. All right, so there's still a bunch of trash in there, but we got a lot more of it out. What is that? Like a booger. That's disgusting. I can't believe I got it this bad. This is embarrassing, but I'm only posting it so hopefully you guys can learn. That's the fuel gauge right there, by the way. All right, so what I decided to do was actually take the end of the hose and stick it back in that hole so that I can fill this tank up with some fresh diesel and a cleaner. Look at this. This is what I'm talking about. As this is sitting in the sun and heating up, see the bubbles coming up? Yeah, this thing is not air or watertight. So I'm going to be using this stuff here. Never used it, not sponsored, can't even recommend it specifically at this point. It's what I could find at O'Reilly's. So it says that it is a fuel and tank cleaner and removes water and slime to prevent fuel filter failures. All right, well, and it's for diesel, right? This is not for gas, it's for diesel. You can scan that code, you can look at it right there if you want for more information. But it says add this whole bottle to 70 gallons after you've drained off this as much sludge as you can. So I don't know that I'm gonna do it this way. And then also you'd add this whole thing to 100 gallons to preserve it. I don't know, we'll see. I'm gonna dump, I don't know, just a glug, glug, glug down in here, and then I'm gonna add some fresh diesel, see what happens. All right, so we added it in, it fell down in that area. I don't know, we'll see if it starts to clean things up. I'm gonna add, like I said, a little bit of fuel in here, and then we will mix it up just a bit and then drain it all out and then start over. So maybe I'll take the end of this and stir it up a little bit and just see. That's kind of gross. And just see what it looks like, and then we're gonna drain it out. Go from there. You know, well, I was gonna say we could actually take the end of that and we could circulate it through, but it's plugging my hole. But since it'll basically just push it back in through the other side. Let's try it. So I'm sucking it out of the top of the tank and I'm shoving it back down into the bottom of the tank. And this is just causing a turbulent cleansing of the whole thing. Kinda, I don't know, might be brilliant. Who knows? All right, so that worked pretty good. Let's check it out, see what it looks like inside. Let's flush this out, put some more fresh in, try again. Of course, this time we can flush it by simply taking this off here and draining it from this. Just got to get it low enough so it starts to drain. There it goes. Yeah, all right, so that is infinitely better. There's still some, like, what is that? I just don't, it looks like a, I don't know what it looks like, but the tank is so much better. Man, look at that.
Just look at that.
So I'm gonna go ahead and put the screen, we're gonna put this guy back in there, and then we are going to fill her up with clean diesel, and we're gonna put some of that back in, and then we're gonna start her up and see how she runs. So I didn't really wanna do the math. I just kind of put like that much in. I don't know. We'll see. I don't think you can overdo it. And if for some reason it's not running well, maybe I'll put extra diesel in to balance it out. We'll see. So it sounds so much better than it had previously. It's got a lot more power. It feels great. I'm gonna go move some dirt. No, wood chips. So we have got a tree trimming service that has been trimming all of like the entire county, and I finally tracked them down and said, hey guys, y'all can bring as much as you guys can possibly bring us. This is 2 days of them bringing us some chips. So they're kind of almost out of room here. So I'm gonna take all this stuff and I'm gonna start pushing it to the back so they can bring more in. Man, it was a very awkward conversation trying to get these guys to help me out, and I ended up having to like do Google Translate for one conversation, and then also get on a phone call with one of the guys' phones to talk to a boss, because no one on any of the crews speak English that I've encountered. But that is a huge asset. It was worth it. And they're still coming. Okay, so that's pretty much it. What are you gonna need to fix this? You're gonna need some sort of a cleaner. You're gonna need some carburetor cleaner. You're definitely gonna need a pick, a flathead screwdriver, or 5/16. I don't remember. Screwdriver to pull off the clamp. You're gonna need some pliers, you need some fresh fuel, and then of course the extractor and some sort of rod. Helped out a lot, but those are kind of optional, nice to haves. That's it, man. I ran this thing like it was brand new, moving all that to the wood chips. It felt really good. It felt great. So it's a simple fix, but it's really difficult to get to. So best of luck on it. Hope this helps. Let me know, like and subscribe. Hey, we talk about all kinds of things, homesteading, sometimes tractor repairs, a lot of DIY stuff, like fix it yourself instead of paying $500 for someone else to fix this. We do a lot of off-grid solar stuff, and then just general homesteading things. If you're into that sort of thing, I'd love you to stick around, watch more videos. This one right here is gonna be great. Check it out. I'm Eric with East Texas Homestead, reminding you to live faithfully, prepare thoroughly for good times or bad. See you on the next one.